Hi everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Sorry for the background, I'm still working on it and there's stuff everywhere, but it's fine. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing an August reading wrap up. So let's get into it. So this month I read more than I usually do. I feel like I really got into the swing of reading while doing school and all the other things, and I kind of got into that reading sprint where I just wanted to constantly read. So this month I read 5 books. I read 2 middle grade books and 3 young adult books. So let's get into it. So the first book I read this month was Berlin. This was a book I had to read for school, and it is actually a play. It's only about 74 pages long and I rated it 2 stars. It was interesting, but it was really, really slow. I understand, like, it just made no sense because it was 74 pages long. It was a play. It had 3 scenes and it was just so slow. So the synopsis of this book is there's basically 2 people. There is a girl and a boy, and they meet in a bar, and the woman is, I think, a bartender at the bar and takes the man back to her place to help him out. And they basically have this one night stand and they start talking about their life stories and all this kind of stuff. And it was interesting because it's like about the idea of artwork being stolen and it being given back to their rightful owners. And I thought it was really, really interesting. It reminded me of the movie The Monument Men, which I love that movie, but it was just really slow and it just didn't really catch my eye. I didn't really like it, but yeah. The second book I read was Little House on the Prairie. This is the 3rd book in the Little House on the Prairie series. I rated this 4 stars. I enjoyed this book. I did not enjoy it, however, as much as Farmer Boy. It was slower paced. There's also, I will preface this, there is definitely way more references to Native Americans, and definitely in a bad light. Enjoy the story line of like Laura and Mary and Ma and Pa and Carrie being like out in the prairie and like their day-to-day life and all that kind of stuff. And I love Mr. Edwards. I love the TV show. I did enjoy it very much, but it's definitely not a 5-star. The next book I actually don't have in physical form or on Kindle, as I actually borrowed it from my library online, and that is October. I loved this book. This book, I feel like, is what really got me into the swing of reading this month. It was so good. It's all about a girl who basically lives in the forest with her dad, and her mother left when she was a baby, and then her mother so it's all about like her dad and her living in the forest and by themselves, and how they like jump in the creek and they look after the trees and they grow their own food, and it's beautiful. I felt like I was there with her. And it talks all about how she finds things and puts them in a little treasure box, and when she finds the things, she thinks of stories. It just captures the beauty of nature, but also the beauty of childhood imagination, because it just brought me back straight to my childhood, because the tiniest little things made the biggest stories. And just these tiny, like, she'd find like a bottle cap and she'd come up with this beautiful story. It's stunning. But then basically what happens is she finds an owl, and her dad says not to save the owl because you're not supposed to interfere with nature, you're supposed to live with it, but she does anyway. And this is the year that everything changes, as on her 11th birthday, her mum turns up out of nowhere, and October runs away, and basically her father has an accident, which means that she has to live with her mum while her father is in the hospital. And it's all about her accepting change and knowing that change can be extremely hard, and that even when you're in a place that you don't necessarily love, you can grow to find things you love about it. Because she moves to the city, in like the outer city of London, and she goes into London, and the description of all the different things, like the bus and the underground, it's just so good. I went on the underground train earlier this year and I found it very sensory overload, but she just as much found it sensory overload, and it made me cry because it was just so descriptive, and it captured the experience of what it felt like with the overwhelm, with the sounds and the smells and the colors. It was brilliant. This is a book, it was 5 stars, but I wish I could give it like 10,000 billion stars. It was so good. So good. The next book I read was Fable. Fable is a book by Adrienne Young. Fable is a 17-year-old girl who lives on the most dangerous island in the Narrows, which is like the sea, and she's basically it gives like pirate vibes, but she basically is stuck there because her dad left her there one day and just went away on his ship and left her there to fend for herself with all these horrible people. And she manages to get off the dangerous island and travel to the place to find her dad with a new crew on a ship. And she finds all these secrets and learns all these new techniques and learns that some of her dad's teachings that she was taught were not true, and that they are true, but doesn't mean that it has to give you harm. And the whole thing that she's been looking for, the whole reason she's been going to her dad, like the whole wanting to be on the ship or whatever, she's had with her entire life. It is such a good book. It is part of a duology, and I finished this book and I was gobsmacked. I didn't know how to react, and I haven't actually felt that way for a book, I don't think really ever. I was just I was confused because it left on a cliffhanger, and I was just like, what? And I haven't started the second one, but I'm hoping to in September. The last book I read for this month was American Royals. I actually listened to this one on audiobook, and oh my god, I gave this one 5 stars as well. I had so many 5-star reads this month, it was actually ridiculous. But this book follows the idea that the American Revolution and French Revolution never happened, which is just like, oh my god, because I'm learning about that in my history class at the moment. And I was like, this is brilliant. And so it's all about how there's an American royal family, and the storylines, the switches of POVs, it's just, oh my god. Every single chapter, I was constantly just wanting to listen and listen and listen. It was so good. It follows the POVs of 4 different girls. Beatrice, the Princess of America, soon to be, like, she is the next in line, and she will be the first queen in history for the American royals. And then there's her younger sister, Samantha, who is the spare, and she's got a twin brother who is named Jefferson. Oh my god. And Beatrice is just like the perfect, she's always seen as being like the perfect one because she has to be perfect because she's the next monarch and she's going to be the first queen, and so it's a huge deal. And so she's been training for this position her whole life, and basically throughout the story we follow her journey of finding love and understanding that her role doesn't define her, and it's beautiful. And I was just constantly going like, oh my god. And then there's Samantha, which is her younger sister, and she is the spare, and she actually acts up because she doesn't like being the spare and she wants to prove a point, and she's very outspoken and bold and wants to show off her personality and she just wants to be just like Beatrice, but she just doesn't know how to convey it. And basically it's all about her journey throughout the book is through her falling in love with a man, but then finding out that she can't have him, and then her losing friends and then regaining friends, and it's just this great teenage thing. I love it. And Samantha's best friend Nina has basically grown up with Samantha their entire lives. They've grown up together, even though Nina is not a royal. And basically it is about how Nina starts to fall in love with Samantha's twin brother, and this creates problems everywhere, and it's just so good. It's so interesting. And then the fourth POV is Daphne, and she is like the it girl. She's not a royal, she's a commoner, but she wants to be royal. And so she used to be Prince Jefferson's girlfriend. She was Prince Jefferson's girlfriend for 3 or 4 years, can't remember. And basically they broke up, and the entire book is her trying to figure out a way to become Jefferson's girlfriend again. And it's just showing all the things that she'll do and her thinking, and it's just, the entire book had me constantly going, oh my god, what is going to happen? No, I don't want that to happen, I want this to happen. And I was like, oh my god. It is actually it is part of a 4-book series, I believe, so far. And American Royals is the first one. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and it would mean a lot to me if you could please subscribe, click the notification bell, and like, and leave a comment down below, as it will really help out my channel. And if there's anyone that loves reading and wants book recommendations in your life, or just loves reading, please share this video. Thanks. Bye.